Hey, it's William Armellini from Flowers and Scents with your floral industry buzz. Okay, so today we're going to do something a little different. I have a panel discussion with three young gentlemen from the floral industry that are second, third, and fourth, and even fifth generation in the flower business. So, with this need for new people in the industry and fresh blood, I thought it would be appropriate to have these young fellows on here so we could chat with them. So I have Taylor Priest from Cleveland Plant. I have Carl Armellini from Armellini, and I have Casey Black from Jet Fresh Flowers. And I think you'll like it because this is all about succession. So without further ado, here we go. Okay, so Taylor Priest, Kyle Armellini, and Casey Black. Regrettably, Nick Priest can't join us today, but we'll do what we can here. So. Gentlemen, thank you for being persistent and hanging with me here. We're trying to get this. This is the third time. We'll see if we can pull this off. So let's start by, okay, so the whole idea is here. I was out at Next Gen in San Diego and ran into all of you guys, I believe, and we said, I just, Next Gen is all about Next Gen. So I figured why not take this one step further and do a little interview here. And so here we are. So let me ask you to do this. Just tell me what you did before you came to the flower business or decided to work for the family. What did you do before you did that, Taylor?
Um, well, I used to umpire baseball. I used to coach some different like rec leagues. Um, One point I was even flipping rooms at a hotel, like being the guy to set up parties. Um, but I was always working here during that same type of period too.
Okay. So you
Um,
were born into the business and you're still in it.
yeah, pretty much. I've been working here since before I got paid to do it.
Oh, I think most of us probably can qualify for that. But how about you, Casey?
I tried just about everything. I did everything. I ref ice hockey. I was a waiter. I was a roofer. I did ballet. I uh, I did about everything you do, and then coming and going at the same time. I'll try a few things and then came back, and then tried a different few things and then came back, and then finally stuck.
Yeah, hard to get away. And Kyle?
Well, not as exciting as the rest of you. I was mainly started here when I was 14, and then I quit here, and then I went and did diesel and marine mechanics for 10 years, and then I did IT for a year, and then I ended up back here at Armellini. So not as diverse.
Well, that's okay. You don't necessarily have to be. As a previous owner and of a family business, I always encourage people to work elsewhere. I've always encouraged all the family members and grandkids and whoever was coming into the business, please go work someplace else to bring us knowledge. Don't just share the knowledge that you found here. Go out and do something different and learn how other people do things, and then bring that knowledge back here if it makes sense. So I always, and I would still encourage anybody to do that. Uh, I'm curious, did you, all of you, I'll ask it to each one of you, that was it sort of like, okay, this is my destiny. I'm going to be in this family business. I can't see any other way around it. I might as well just join in. Is that how it happened, or
No,
no?
not even close.
Okay.
Um, so initially, I just looked at this place as a summer job,
Okay.
and as well as a little bit during college to help try to put myself through school.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't know I wanted to go into the business until I was a junior in college,
And at that point, you thought maybe not a
and
bad idea?
and then I thought, you know what, this is what I want to do.
Cool. And Taylor, are you fourth generation?
Fifth,
Fifth generation. Wow. Okay. So your great grandfather, I guess. I know your father, obviously, and I think I knew your grandfather. Um, and there was another guy in the business who's not a priest, right? There was another partner.
yeah, yeah, that was Gus, but you might know Chuck,
Chuck, right. Right.
yeah, because that was Makugas.
Yeah, I met him a number of times. Okay. And Casey?
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of always knew where I would be. I mean, I got four brothers, so like, there's out of the five of us, everybody always kind of says I'm the most similar to my father, and we bumped heads a lot as I grew up, so there was like actually a lot of opportunities for me to not end up here, but actually ended up working out, and once I kind of started and doing different things, and I started at the very bottom, so in the warehouse and driving and then running the warehouse. So as you kind of grow and you're good at the things that you didn't know you were good at, and then it kind of just keeps going and going and going. So yeah, I think a little bit, yes. And I kind of fought it for a while, for sure, and then inevitably ended up back for good.
Okay, and Kyle?
Well, I'm more like Taylor. I fought it and I just did it for high school to work at a job at high school at first. Wanted nothing to do with it. Wanted to find something else at first. So that's when I did mechanics. And then after I realized I didn't want to do that for 30 years, I tried IT, didn't like that. And then I started working back in the warehouse in IT in Armellini and decided, yep, this is now my destiny to run Armellini. That's when I decided.
Hmm.
I was one of my only brothers that like enjoyed going on the weekends to the office with my dad. And if I ever got in trouble at school, it wasn't like you stay at home with mom. It's you go work with dad.
You go to
You go to the office and you work. Go to the warehouse, which really at that age is like making like little label balls and playing soccer with the warehouse guys and stuff. It's more
Oh
like
yeah, no,
that.
I was the same way. It was always basically take away my dad's chores that was at home.
Okay.
And once those were, if completed those and I still needed punished, then I was coming here.
Yeah.
You learn, yeah.
He said, you know what? There's always something to do here, even if I make you pick up a broom.
Always something to do.
I learned that one well. Kyle probably can attest to that because if you grow up in a trucking company, there's always trucks to be cleaned and swept out and trucks to be loaded and unloaded and all sorts of nasty. There was no lack. And I think I mentioned at point, in my book that I wrote, our friends never wanted to stay at our house overnight because my dad saw them as extra labor. So like, oh, you're going to
Always
work.
something to do.
Oh, is it kind? You
Yep.
got some friends in? Hey, we got to unload this truck. Come on. Like,
Yep.
"No, we don't want to stay at your house." Um, so y'all have siblings. Casey being probably the biggest one here. You've got four brothers, right?
Yeah, four brothers.
And all but one is in the business. Well, two, I guess. Jared and
So
I mean,
my oldest brother is a police officer. He's in the business. He's here right now he does some of like our, helps with the accounting, with the accounting girls and stuff like that, and different things like bank wise, with money in and money out, overseeing that type of stuff. Um, my brother Jared, underneath him, used to work here for a long time. He was a sales rep here, and he left and he started a staffing agency. So like some of my warehouse guys that we have working here come from him.
I
And then
I was
Ryan,
hoping that.
is
That's
yeah,
pretty
and then
convenient.
Ryan, has marketing. He's our marketing guru here. He started the marketing department from scratch. He's no, Mike Jr. has a college degree. Him and Ryan are the two with the college degrees. And then me, I'm the second to youngest. And then my youngest brother Connor was gonna be a firefighter. He went through school and everything, but he's been volunteering for a while and he decided it's not his long-term thing. So he's moving down in August and he's starting here. And he's gonna be
Okay.
put through the ultimate test.
Well, family businesses are, as we know, which is why we're having this conversation, are challenging. I happen to be one of the family members that left the business, and all the other family members are still there. And obviously that was a gigantic decision on my part, and and I would do it again probably just because I sort of like to be on my own. And I'm curious. All right, so you have sibling rivalries, but I think like in my case, Armellini was big enough that we didn't necessarily, all the brothers could work together. We're not necessarily in the same building or the same job. So it gave everybody a little bit more space. I can imagine, particularly in Casey's case, you're all working in the same building there. It can get a little crowded.
Yeah, I mean, if all four of my brothers were here 5 days a week, it would probably be a different story. I don't know how it would end up, especially Jared and Junior. They can go at it a little bit. But me and Ryan are the two that are mainly here full time right now, and we have a pretty good because he has his department for the most part, and I have mine, and they mix with each other a lot, but not in the sense of we're pretty respectful with each other's work. I think we both put in the effort, so we don't really have any complaints with each other. So it's actually it works out, but yeah, if it was all four of us in here 5 days a week, everybody, it could definitely be a different story.
And Nick, you and Taylor, sorry, Taylor, you and Nick work in the same company, but
building.
different buildings or different?
Same building.
Oh, the same building.
In fact,
Who's the older brother?
his desk is just a couple down from mine.
Who's older?
Who's the older brother, Taylor? Okay. He said that so confident.
Well, Nick's my little cousin.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have four other brothers, but none of them are in the business.
Oh, no. Okay.
Damn, you guys all got a shitload of brothers.
Wow. Okay. All your brothers decided to go elsewhere, I guess?
Yeah, I got one little brother who's working at Chime right now, and then the others are just kind of spread out in their own fields too, and none of them are in the business.
Hey, how many of you thought this was your destiny, that you were going to work for the company no matter what you did, you were going to end up there?
I fought that tooth and nail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a small feeling.
Same with you, Kyle. You fought it. Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, I fought it, but I always had a small feeling I'd probably end up back here.
Yeah, that's the same answer.
I will say though, I am glad that I ended up changing my own mind.
Okay, good.
I want to make sure that's out there.
Yeah, well, it's a challenge to do these things and to work in these companies, and it can be a lot of fun. And it can be very challenging because I suspect I wrote another thing down here. Do you feel like you're overworked and underpaid? We don't have
Kyle,
to
we'll start with you.
we don't have to go there.
Start with you, Kyle. I'm not taking this one first.
Well,
I feel like I'm
you don't have to answer
overworked.
that. Let me ask it this way: do you all expect to be owners? Which is why one of the reasons that you decided to choose to be in the company. That in the end, it's not only you're not an employee, but you're an owner.
Yes, that would be the end goal here.
Definitely is the end goal.
That is an end goal.
Definitely end goal.
No, and listen, that's a good end goal. And let me give you this piece of advice, if I can. For me, when going through college, it was sort of I knew I was going to work for the company. There was no question. I don't know what else my parents would have let me do. I had a musical gene, but anyway, it was like, okay, you can play music, but after you unload the trucks and do all this other stuff. So for me, it was my destiny, and that made it challenging because you're in the business, and I suspect most of you might have this underlying feeling: am I president of the company or whatever your title is because I'm good at it, or because my name is Priest or Armellini or Black? That's been a challenge I personally have had.
Yeah, no, I would say that's a very real challenge. I mean, there's always a target on mine and Nick's back.
Yeah.
From the aspect of we're just expected to do more and expected to have very strong sales because we have to earn our stripes. It's not just going to be handed down. It's got to be, you have earned this.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep. Casey, you want to
And
chime in on that?
and
Hey,
honestly,
Kyle.
but that just motivates me even more.
More good because you're expected to do more. Yeah. Particularly from non-family employees. They expect-
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You-
and they have higher expectations. Like my dad and Scott
Of you.
have higher expectations of us because of that too.
Yep.
Definitely. Yeah, I think my dad set it up for me pretty good, whereas he made me work from the bottom. I didn't get just sent right into the sales team or was handed anything really. Oh, guys, hold on, let me get a timeout real quick. The baby's crying.
Oh, he's crying. All right.
Well, I can elaborate on that a little bit because I had the same situation of I had to work my way from the bottom up just as a driver, just helping out around the warehouse to basically I was whatever needed done. Taylor, you're supposed to be the first volunteer to go do it. And so I mean I can definitely relate to that. And I had the same thing where And that's what when I say my summer job, that's what it was, is the drive, clean the warehouse, help pack orders, pull orders, whatever needed done.
Yeah. Kyle?
Yep, same. Started at the warehouse, did my taking turns at each department, the dispatch. I did dispatch for a year, warehouse a lot. Obviously, I was in the shop for a long time.
Hmm.
I did I did help Enrique with AFB for a little bit, but not too much. The only thing I didn't do at Armellini was drive because I didn't want to drive. I did not want to get behind a truck.
I can relate to that. I drove a little. My biggest driving experience was from Miami to Pearson.
Oh, so that's not bad.
That was bad. It was up the highway, no problem. I got there and pulled my truck in, and they said, "Oh, good, you're hook up to number 29 over there, 2905, and take it back to Miami." And I got on the way back. This thing was so damn heavy. I got at least one or two flat tires, and I didn't know what to do. I'm like, "Okay, I'm only a couple miles from it. I don't care. I'm dragging this thing in."
Yeah,
Did you
do what
have
you
you
got
had
to
flat
get home.
tires? I said, "Yeah, but I was coming home."
Yeah, gotta
Change
do
them in
what
the
you gotta
yard.
do.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So I was set up pretty good by making we were forced to start in the warehouse,
Yeah.
pulling orders with everybody else, and in there you kind of meet all the warehouse guys and you work with them, you get friendly with them, and then you win them over. And then from there I kind of just gradually started to take over the role of the warehouse management because that guy got moved into a different position. So there was a need there, so I kind of filled that, and I was doing that for like a couple of years actually. After I was done working in the warehouse and driving, and in that moment, that you grow a lot in those times too, because like especially my dad was mainly really hard on and me and my brothers, but you're 5 minutes late, just go back home, don't even clock in, just turn around, go home. It's strict like that type of deal, and it really helps you kind of grow up and man up. But then from there, it took like Fern actually like a year of trying to get me into the sales room because I actually liked running the warehouse a lot. I was really good at it, I thought, and it was different challenges in its own ways. And then from there, finally started doing some shows, going to the trade shows that starts to win you over with those crowds. And then started doing sales for a few years. So I was doing sales, and then I learned the buying side of it. So now I'm doing mainly a lot of the buying and also sales management.
Well, that's a lot already, and we like
I'm
going to the
almost 10
conventions.
years.
Yeah,
That's
conventions you get.
gradually over 10-year time. I'm almost at my 10 year. I think
Oh
this
yeah,
year is 10 years of full
wow,
time.
time goes
Yeah,
fast.
I feel that because I mean when I first started in sales, because my dad wouldn't let me start in sales till after I graduated college.
Okay.
He just said you need to be able to be here full time, and that made a lot of sense to me. So I didn't fight that. Um, and when I started, I figured I'd probably inherit just some small, very underperforming customers. Um, nope. You know
No.
what he did instead? He literally picked up a yellow pages and threw the book at me and said,
Oh.
"Go find customers."
Bet you found customers though.
That's funny. So the
Very
day that I
quickly because I
You
started,
found them,
realized that.
right?
Oh well,
the
yeah.
day that I
He
started
said you're
into
gonna
doing
earn
sales,
everything you get,
Okay.
and so
I love it.
I went and I found and developed a lot of different customers, particularly in one of our markets that we were very underperforming in, and have built up a pretty nice clientele since.
There
Sweet.
you go.
funny,
Sweet.
the when I started in sales, when I started that transition, I was given pretty much like a script almost and a list of customers. And I was told, you call these customers and you read them this script. And it was all like 100 customers that just hated my dad or
Oh
hated, like
no.
just had a bad experience in the
Mhm.
past of something. And
So
that
you
was
had the
basically
remedy.
my first welcome to sales was just 100 hang-ups, and we'll just leave it at that. It got a little
Well,
worse
you
than
know the name
hang-ups.
of that game, Casey, is always quantity over quality because the
Yeah,
more
for
calls you
sure.
make, then the more you're going to start to build.
Oh yeah, that's a confidence booster there.
Yeah.
Well, if you get one of those no's into a yes, it's a huge win.
Yep.
That's yeah. Yeah, no means that's the biggest challenge. When they say no, then that's the game's on, as they say, right?
When the sale
Yep.
starts.
Just means try again. Keep trying.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
I
with
got.
some of my customers, it
Let me
took me
ask
10
you
times of a
one.
no to finally get them to a yes.
One more big question, perhaps. What's your biggest challenge being a family member in a family business?
That's a good question.
I think it still kind of correlates to the last question. Like there's just constant expectations and eyes watching you, and kind of just you can never really have a bad day. Like a few weeks ago, I had a little bit of a bad moment in front of a customer that I didn't know was right there. And, not anything personal to the customer, but like, I feel like because of who I am, it was a worse taste in their mouth,
Hmm.
So there's like, you got to be 100% all the time, especially when you're here, like working with customers constantly and you have a lot of back and forth, like I'm sure you guys have over there, Taylor.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah,
probably my
no,
biggest challenge.
I would
yeah,
probably agree with that.
You would agree, Kyle?
I mean, yeah, the expectation of always making sure everything's done the right way, the way that they expect, everything like that. Making
yeah.
sure,
I'd say that's one of them, but I think my biggest thing is I look at it now, and I'm currently in my sixth year of sales, and I see ways that I think of the directions we need to go and improvements that need to be made, and like sure what we do works, but if we're going to take that next step, then this is what we need to do. And it's trying to, at this point, essentially write up a sales pitch to get Scott and my dad on board. I mean, and they're going to have their reasons for feeling the way they do about it. But essentially, it's just going to be more of a frustration of, I know this is what we need to do, and just having to wait.
right,
That's exactly
being
why they want you in the position you're at, right? They want you to challenge them. They don't, not, they may not welcome it, but they want you to challenge them because that's what you're supposed to do. Because otherwise, you're just going to continue to do everything they've been doing for good or better or worse.
And to my surprise, actually, some of what I have said has kind of gotten through to them, and they're starting to do it.
Beautiful.
After about 6 months of trying to get
Hey, well,
approval.
things don't come easy with family.
But
no,
and so now I've
There
always
it
got
goes.
something cooking to try to just keep pushing it along.
No, as well you should. Again, that's why you're supposed to challenge them. That's what your job is, I think, is to keep them thinking and keep you thinking and seeing improvements that need to be made because you see them. I can, if we change this,
Hey,
it'll work better. Why not? And that's what all of you should do, is challenge your owners or your peers or whoever that, because again, they expect it from you for one. And if you have the mental capacity and you get it and say, okay, I see a clear path out of here or a clear
yep.
way to make this business better, that's what you're there for. So
I'm a firm believer in you don't bring up a problem unless you have a solution.
that's a good point. Yeah, because there's plenty of problems around, not a lot of solutions, but but they're out there. Okay, well, I see that Zoom, which has let us do this, thankfully very much, is going to run out of time here in a few minutes. So, a couple final words, maybe. First of all, again, I value you guys to come on here and do this. And
Otherwise, you're just barking.
oh, the dog's barking now.
I think he was frozen for a while. He just came back.
Who, me?
Yeah, I froze
No,
for a
Taylor.
second.
Okay. Well, anyway, before we screw it up any further, hey, gentlemen, thank you for doing this with me, and it's been a pleasure. And I will put this all together and edit it and get it out on Tuesday, I believe.
awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for
Okay.
having us.
That
Hey, it's
sounds
been
great.
fun.
Thank
I've
you.
learned something, and I'm happy, I hope everybody has had a good time, and hopefully there was some lessons to be learned here for other people that are family and business trying to figure out what the hell to do.
Always
All
a
right,
lesson to be
Oh,
learned.
absolutely.
all right, gentlemen. Thank you
There's
very
tons of
much.
lessons to
Happy
be.
to help. We'll see you at your book premiere.
Oh, I hope you'll be there. My book signing. Okay, beautiful.
The book
Gentlemen,
signing. I'll be there.
thank you. Have a great day.